Here we have a model that's slightly more complex. And the goal here is to look at how we could model developing community eligibility for jobs in the mining sector. And we have a number of different components that we're looking at because there's a number of different factors affecting that outcome. The first one is education. So do we actually have enough people in the community that are educated and eligible for getting jobs in the mining sector? The second piece is employment. How many jobs are actually available and what types of jobs are they? Are they local jobs? Are they being hired from the local community? Or are they supporting the mine? Or are they driving from imported labor? And of course, we also have the serious issue of substance abuse, looking at people in the population that have really left the labor force and are not eligible for employment. So if we look at education to start with, we've got a number of factors here of children 0 to 14 in school, and some of those children graduate and move into high school, and some of those actually leave school and are therefore really not on the path of being eligible for employment. The kids that are in high school, some of them do graduate and become eligible for employment, and some of those leave. And we're also showing here that children that have left school have the option to return to school, and some of that cycle does happen. But often is the case, people that are graduating and not graduating from high school end up not being eligible for employment in the mining sector. And a proportion of those at each stage are going to be susceptible to addiction and really sort of form part of that community that may not be eligible for employment at all. So if we look at what are the factors that are really affecting that graduation rate, there's a number of different ones that come together that we've sort of abstracted into a proxy variable called Z. And that includes things like policy interventions that could be after-school programs, looking at ways that school systems and governments can intervene, as well as the mother's education grade level and quality of diet. Quality of diet is also impacted by the family education and the price of food and income. Kids with poor diet are much less able to concentrate and don't have as good a chance of being able to graduate and stay in school. So when we have that sort of proportion of the population that is eligible for mining employment, are they actually going to be employed? Are there actually enough jobs for them? Well, that's driven by a number of variables. One is how many mines are actually active in the area. That drives the available jobs. Those jobs are filled either by local people from the community or by imported labor. In addition to the direct mining jobs, there's employment in supporting sectors, transportation, housing, restaurants, and so on, that are actually supporting those mines. There's a third path of new businesses, of people that are actually not going directly to work for the mine, but are starting their own business as entrepreneurs and providing that through an outsourcing relationship to the mine itself. So if we model this and run the simulation, we can start to see that over time, we can start to see here that there is a trend, and the new businesses and the adults eligible for mining employment are going up, and the imported labor is actually going down. Some of the other ones aren't rising as quickly. But we can play with that and sort of start to change some of those variables and see what the impact would be if we actually wanted to do some different policy interventions, or for example, if we said what would happen if the number of mines went up to 7, what would happen if, let's say, we actually said the average grade level was actually grade 11 instead of grade 8. We can run that simulation again and start to see how that changes. And here we even see a faster decline, and very, very quickly we can start to see the impact of not only the number of jobs and the number of people employed, but how quickly the local labor force is able to take over and be able to handle those different types of jobs. The other area that we're interested in modeling here was looking at trying to get an assessment of the income inequality and quality of life and life expectancy over 65. We're taking quality of life as sort of a bit of a measure that's made up of two key components: income inequality and life expectancy over 65, using the Gini coefficient there, so you can model that and be able to make some of those changes. So this model is really trying to show a lot of complex relationships, both from the social side and economics and education and substance abuse, and show how some of those pieces are related, and how investing in education, even investing in quality of diet or even the price of food, can really generate huge returns in the future on employment levels and the community eligibility for jobs in that mining sector.